Junji Ito Maniac, the new Netflix anime anthology capturing the best of the horror maestro's works, never ceases to amaze us. In this episode, we get a strange mix of body horror, mysteries of the afterlife, and a peculiar ritual that is considered normal in a strange little town. It has been adapted from the story Streets of Gravestones from The Circus Is Here, and watch out for some mind-scarring imagery going ahead. There will be a few spoilers along the way, so you have been warned.
You killed me and tried to lie! Yoshi!
The story of the strange town with a stranger ritual. The episode begins as we see a pair of siblings on a road trip. Kaoru has been invited by her friend Izumi to visit her in a distant town where she moved a few years ago. Kaoru's brother Tsuyoshi is driving the car and he is accompanying his sister on the pretext of looking out for her. However, Kaoru teases him about having a crush on Izumi, and even though he tries to deny it, he cannot hide his blushes once she tells him that Izumi is also very keen to meet him. Tsuyoshi is going a little faster than usual, and his sister warns him that he should drive safely because he got his license very recently. The young man ignores the instructions and steps on the gas, and soon he pays the price for his ignorance. While trying to look at the map while driving, he takes his eyes off the road, and the next thing you know, the car runs over a young lady stranded in the middle of the road. Initially, they pick her up so that she can be taken to a hospital, but Kaoru soon realizes that the young woman is dead. Tsuyoshi starts to panic about facing prosecution, and he stuffs the body in the trunk of the car, planning to get rid of it in some remote location. They drive into a town, and he intends to quietly pass the locality to find a safe place to bury the body. However, there is something extremely peculiar about the town. Tombstones are just about everywhere, and even in the middle of the road. A local explains that the tombs mostly belong to those who died in various road accidents. While Tsuyoshi is shocked to hear about this bizarre practice, another local informs him that such is the tradition in the region. Suddenly, Izumi arrives looking for them, and the siblings realize that this strange town is where she lives. We soon get to know more about the surprising tradition. Izumi reveals that initially, even she got quite bothered by the practice, but now she has gotten used to it. In fact, there is a tomb in the middle of her house as well, in the same spot where the previous owner died. She then takes the siblings to look around the quiet little town, and they witness tombstones just about everywhere. Izumi further informs that the people try to ensure that the ones about to die are put outside, so that the tombs are not much of an inconvenience. When Tsuyoshi asks about the reason behind such a peculiar practice, Izumi only reveals that it cannot be helped and is just the way it is. Of course, we get to know a lot more about the actual process very soon. The three friends even pass by a hospital where they watch a near-death patient being frantically wheeled out so that he can die outdoors. Soon, the siblings witness another bizarre sight. A cat was lying dead in the middle of the road, and when Tsuyoshi tries to move it, Izumi warns him against touching the body. She says that touching the body or moving it will not allow the creature to rest in peace, and we realize that the practice even holds true for creatures in the town. Meanwhile, Kaoru is yet to get over the accident they encountered while coming, and her brother quickly convinces Izumi that she simply needs some rest back home. Back in her house, Izumi's mother is a bit concerned because Izumi's sister, Ayumi, hasn't come back home yet. Apparently, she left for a walk by the mountains in the morning, and when she doesn't come back after waiting for some more time, Tsuyoshi and his sister realize that she could have been the girl they ran over. The more they learn about Ayumi, her appearance, and where she headed before she disappeared, the more they are convinced about their worst fears. People in the town go looking for her along with her father, and even Tsuyoshi and Kaoru join the search to avoid any suspicion. The locals are concerned that she might have met with a fatal accident, and they wonder about the consequences if her body has been moved. We also learn that there is an ancient well in the town, where they dispose the bodies that could not rest peacefully to transform into a tomb. Yes, that's the big secret behind the tombs everywhere. The siblings watch in horror as they realize that the bodies transform into a stone tomb after death, and the transformation process is quite graphic and morbid. Everyone in the town accepts this as a normal, and it is only a concern if the dead are moved or touched before the transformation is complete. Back in the house, Tsuyoshi and Kaoru notice that Izumi is taking a closer look at their car. She then tells them about finding skid marks on the roads in the nearby hills, and also bloodstains and car paint marks near the skid marks. She fears the worst for her sister, and she is even more worried about the possibility that Ayumi might have been dragged after her death, which wouldn't allow her to turn into a gravestone like everyone else. By now, Tsuyoshi has made up his mind on what to do with the body. He bids farewell to Izumi, and the siblings drive to the ancient well in order to dump the body inside. However, a nasty surprise awaits him. After opening the trunk of the car, he finds out that Ayumi's body has started to transform and is in a strangely morphed form. Tsuyoshi still drags the half-transformed body to the well and dumps it inside, but during the process, he also ends up cutting himself on the edge of the rocks, forming on the body. Immediately after getting rid of the body, Tsuyoshi has a terrifying vision. He watches the mutilated and semi-transformed body of Ayumi emerge from the well and screams out to her sister about Tsuyoshi being her real killer. It turns out to be only an illusion played by his troubled mind, but his problems are far from over. Back in their house, Tsuyoshi watches helplessly in agonizing pain as his body also starts to transform into a rocky tomb. The process is truly horrifying to watch, as he changes from a human form to a gargoyle-human hybrid with morbid mutilations. His sister witnesses the horror unfold before her eyes, and all she can do is apologize for being a party to the conspiracy. The episode ends on a tragic note, and we see that Izumi and her parents have committed suicide in their house, and 3 tombs can be seen in their living room. In the source material, the story titled Street of Gravestones, it is a creepier ending because Kaoru decides to confess her crimes and heads to Izumi's place to apologize, only to discover about their suicide.
Turning into stone.
Hey, stop! Don't touch it! The transformation hasn't been completed yet!
Why did every human turn into a rocky tomb in the town? This has to be the biggest question in your mind while you watch the episode unfold before your eyes. The bizarre sequence of events is treated normally by the townsmen, and you start to wonder how something so paranormal is normalized. The possible reasons behind the process haven't been revealed in the original story or this episode, but some plausible theories can be drawn. The ancient well could be the source of this supernatural event that affects the town. It started hundreds of years ago, and after witnessing this for generations, people have grown to accept it as normal. Ancient members of the town could have been followers of some ancient cult or deity, and this could have been a curse that the people carried forward. The transformation is essential for the souls of the dead to rest peacefully, and we have seen the horrible consequences if the process is interrupted. As for the well, there are a few indications to suggest that the dumped bodies don't really get to rest in peace, because even the episode ends with sounds of rocky movements deep inside the well. The open-ended climax works nicely for the story, and we are free to draw our conclusions.
I can't. They found the car paint and the police are investigating.
It'll be all right.
We can't keep...
Marvelous Verdict, a creepy take on death and the afterlife. This episode is sure to give you the chills because of the unusual events, but the transformation process steals the show. It is body horror combined with elements of supernatural and unexplained events, and the element of unknown is going to haunt the viewer. A story set in a town filled with tombs all over the place is always going to set up a creepy ambience, and this is an episode to watch out for. In the end, the wrongdoer gets the treatment, but the climax will still leave a taste of tragedy, especially with the suicide of the entire family. Do let us know in the comments below about your thoughts on the bizarre events in Toontown, and why you think such a peculiar after-death transformation became the norm. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!